Welcome to Rosebud Homestead. It is the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. And we, like a lot of people around the world, in a New Year's resolution, we want to become more healthy and more fit. We want to exercise more, and we would like to lose weight. Over the past few months, Jim and I have both lost 50 pounds. Jim is finished, but I still have a little bit of a ways to go. And so we are looking for good, nutritious food that is also delicious to help us with that weight loss process. And so today we're going to be doing some gingerbread granola. Granola is a really good food to help with weight loss if it's done in the right way. And I'll show you what that is in just a moment. Here are the ingredients that we're going to be using today, and notice that there's no brown sugar, there's no white sugar, so it is low on sugar. The sugar is contained in some of the foods that we're going to be using. I'm going to just run through the ingredients and then I'll give the amounts as we go. First of all, I have some whole grain rolled cereal. Then we have molasses, and then this is real maple syrup, not the fake kind. Then here are the spices that usually go into gingerbread. This is coconut oil, and for those of you that may not be familiar with coconut oil looks like shortening. At room temperature, it is a solid, and it has some very major health benefits that you may want to research a little bit online. Then I have some rough chopped pecans and walnuts, and then I have some coconut. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the ingredients that are going to be the liquid ingredients, and we're going to heat them, because this is the coconut oil and it needs to be liquefied. This is about 2/3 of a cup, between 2/3 and 1 cup of coconut oil. And then we need a 1/2 cup of molasses. And a 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup. And I'm just going to fill this 1/2 cup measure about half full. Real maple syrup makes a big difference in this granola. The imitation maple syrup just doesn't quite have the same flavor. And then I'm going to take a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's what it looks like. So I'm going to put this on the stove, put it on low. It will just take a couple of minutes for it to liquefy everything. All right, I can get these things out of our way now. And that leaves us with the dry ingredients. Now, I want to talk for just a minute about this whole grain rolled cereal. Now, you can use oats if you would like to use oats. If you don't have anything fancy, plain rolled oats are just fine. And be sure to get the whole oats. Now, what I am using here is a 6-grain rolled oat cereal that I get from honeyville.com. And it contains barley flakes, 2 kinds of wheat, rye, oats, and triticale. If you don't want to go to that fuss, a lot of times in the grocery stores, there is a rack that has Bob's Red Mill, all kinds of grains and things. Bob's Red Mill also makes a 5-grain cereal that instead of using 2 kinds of wheat, it just uses 1 kind of wheat, and it adds flaxseed meal. So either of those is just fine, or whatever you would like, but it takes about between 4 and 5 cups of rolled cereal. Then I have about a cup of coconut. Now the coconut, this happens to be sweetened coconut, and Jim could not find the unsweetened large flakes, and this is what we have, so this is what we're going to use, and it works just great. Then this is 2 cups of rough chopped walnuts and pecans. So it's 2 cups each, so that's 4 cups of nuts. So notice that the rolled oats or the rolled cereal and the nuts are about equal in their measurement, 4 cups and 4 cups. And now I'm going to do the spices. Here is a teaspoon of salt. And because this is gingerbread granola, we're going to use the spices that we would use in gingerbread. So I'm going to put in 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, one teaspoon of ginger, and if I get a little bit more, I don't mind at all because we love these spices. This is nutmeg. I'll use a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. These are the dry ingredients. So now I'm going to stir this together. Now with granola is such an individual dish, if you want to call it a dish. And so you can put in here anything that you want. I was looking for a recipe that didn't have so much sugar. A lot of granola recipes these days are just chock full of sugar, and that doesn't help us at all when we're trying to lose weight. I mixed up several batches of this over the holidays and gave it as gifts, and it was very well received. Some people said it was the best granola they had ever tasted. It is not super sweet, but it is very nutritious with all of these nuts and the grains in here. All right, let's check on our wet ingredients. They're done. It doesn't take very long at all. So here they are. Now that coconut oil is going to stay on the top, and we don't even really care. It will come off first, and again, that's just okay too. So there's the coconut oil, and then there's the darker molasses. Now we want to stir this until everything is wet. This makes quite a big batch, which is good. I eat this granola every morning for breakfast, but not like a bowl of it. I have about a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, and I add a few raspberries to it, and then about a half a cup of this granola. I still see some of the ingredients are dry and not saturated with the wet ingredients yet, so I'm going to keep stirring until I don't see any dry flakes. Now I have my oven preheating for 325. We want to cook this slowly for about 40 minutes in the oven, so it bakes and it gets crunchy, which is just how we like it. Okay, So I have my baking sheet already here. I have it lined with parchment paper, and we're just going to dump this out. Want to get every last bit here. Okay, and then we'll spread it evenly. Smells really, really good. I can smell the molasses. It does smell like gingerbread. And I rough chop the nuts because I like to see the nuts in the granola and not have them so fine that they disappear in the mixture. So this is a very quick and easy granola. We're going to now put this in the oven and bake it for 40 minutes. About halfway through, I will open the oven door and kind of stir it up a little bit, but we will bring you back when it's coming out of the oven after it is done. Here is the finished granola. It has been out of the oven probably for about an hour and a half. I wanted it to be completely cooled before we put it in the jar because I do not want it to generate any moisture as it gives off the heat inside the jars because we are going to vacuum seal them. Now you may notice this bag of raisins sitting right here. I forgot to add the raisins at the beginning. I would have added those to the dry ingredients, about 1.5 cups. I remembered as I opened up the oven halfway through in order to check them, and I just sprinkled them on the top and then stirred them in, and it worked out just fine. In fact, it might even be better because they are not as petrified as they would have been had they been in the oven for the full 40 minutes. So I'm going to be using just my extra jars that I have around. I have some of these jars that are have spaghetti sauce in them, and they are ball-style jars, but they're odd sizes. And so I'm just going to fill up these jars with the granola, and then we're going to vacuum seal it. Well, that one was a little bit too much. Okay. And I am not sure how long these will keep on the shelf. It is really important to realize that just because we are going to vacuum seal them does not mean that this food is preserved like it would be in canning situations. So I'm guessing that they will stay good for maybe a month. If you also are going to vacuum seal granola, then it's important to know that it is not, the shelf life isn't super long like canned goods are. And you're going to want to be sure and put the date on the top. And then just use your good judgment when you open the jar. Just check it to make sure it smells okay and that there isn't anything growing. Vacuum sealing will remove the air, which is what we want. That's how you get a vacuum seal, of course. And so it will greatly reduce the risk of any spoilage. But we just need to monitor these very closely. Around our house, these don't last very long anyway. So I don't even think we'll have any of these jars left within a month. And then here's just a regular quart jar. It's a regular mouth. I am now preferring wide mouth, so I'm using up my regular mouth for other things. We had a little short in our light that we had to stop the video and fix, but we're back on now. Okay, so I'm going to just equalize this a little bit. And we got these 4 jars. They're not, none of these are a full quart. This one may be. This one is a full quart, but this one is probably 24, and this was more like 20, these two. And then this much in a quart jar. So it makes about 4 quarts plus some. So now we're going to just seal these, and when we vacuum seal, I use already used lids. These are not new lids. So there we go. And the gasket always comes out on this one, so I just replace it. So here we have 4 jars of vacuum packed granola. This one I am just going to keep out because I will be using this over the next few days anyway. So there you have it. And this granola is such a wonderful thing to use as we try to lose weight and get healthy and fit for this new year. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you on our next video.